This morning, we're taking a look at how dads can empower their daughters with the help of a new book. It's called The Feminine Revolution, and Matt Gutman met with the authors and tried out their lessons on his daughter, Libby.
A new book that encourages women to cry at the workplace?
There's no crying in baseball!
To be nurturing, even flirtatious, and seductive.
You know, it would probably be easiest if I just squeezed back there and poked around myself.
The Feminine Revolution seeks to rehabilitate 21 feminine traits that used to be considered weak or dismissed, but no more.
If you had to choose one particular trait, or let's say two, which would those be?
First of all, we think that we don't want to try to prescribe for anyone because everyone's experience of femininity is going to be unique. For me personally, the sensitivity chapter and the crying openly chapter are low-hanging fruit because I am sensitive and I'm proud of being sensitive.
For me, the two most important chapters, I would say, are demothering and owning your intuition. Not in the context of biological motherhood, but in the context of being nurturing.
Well, I was just going to ask you, when was the last time you cried openly in the office, Amy?
Last week, actually. Yes, okay. I did. I had a little bit of a meltdown.
And you didn't feel shame?
Not at all. Not at all.
You're not a crier, are you?
I'm not.
Connors is not a crier, but encourages her kids, a girl and a boy, to cry if they choose. I have a 4-year-old son and a 10-year-old daughter, Libby, goof around a lot when we're home. Sometimes I sneak her on the job. But we haven't talked a lot about femininity.
Kids are much more sophisticated in their understanding of human nature than we give them credit for. They're probably much more likely to say that crying is totally fine or expressing your emotion is totally fine than an adult is.
Which is exactly what Libby said when I asked her.
Is it okay to cry?
Yeah.
If you get in touch with your emotionality and give yourself permission to experience your emotionality and become unapologetic about your emotionality, then you're going to be a happier, more fulfilled, more creative person.
A lesson for us all. For Good Morning America, Matt Gutman, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Thanks to Matt for that. Joined now by Ericka Souter, editor of Mom.me. Thanks for coming in. Ericka, I have to confess, we don't have to encourage anyone to cry in our house. It kind of happens on its own sometimes. But what lessons do you think are important here?
Well, you know, this isn't a traditional parenting book. With a name like Feminine Revolution, you won't have parents like rushing to pick it up because they're not sure what's in it. But it has a lot of great nuggets on how to raise confident, self-assured girls. And in this climate, that's incredibly important.
Especially nuggets for dads.
Especially nuggets for dads. Now, look, everyone always thinks that it's the moms who need to talk to girls about being feminine or what the world expects of women or how to conduct yourself in the world. But we know that dad's input is important too. So if they can have these conversations and they can have these conversation starters, it's really critical.
And there's some surprising information in this book as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, I found that the section on mothering was really interesting because a lot of times people think if you have a child that's mothering, that's attributed, people think they're going to be sappy or too weak.
Coddling.
Or coddling. But it's actually a great way to encourage empathy and understanding the people around you and caring for the people around you. And I think that's good for dads to encourage in both their boys and girls.
Yeah, and with dads especially, is there something that we wouldn't think of that, you know, that these authors have said, no, this is the way to go? Well,
you know, a lot of people worry about their daughters being bossy, right, and being controlling. And what they're trying to turn that around, they want dads to tell their girls, be leaders, you know that you have a lot to offer. Know that when you take control of a situation, you can make really good, positive changes and impact the world in a good way. And what parent doesn't want their children to feel that way? And if we think about a lot of things that they encourage, intuition, empathy, being emotional, those are all traits we use as parents.
Right, but be leaders, but don't be afraid to cry. That's not a sign of weakness.
Don't be afraid to cry, but know your audience.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.